I also could not.
Oh, hi,
All
Jordan.
right.
Hello. I was stuck in like waiting room limbo.
I was too, and I was like, did I mess up? But I like every other
Me
minute,
too.
I'm getting a reminder from Andrew. So I'm like, well, clearly.
Yeah, I know. Well, we do have some people that have joined us. Thank you so much. I want to apologize to everyone for the delay. We were having some major technical problems, and I really appreciate your patience and you being here with us. We want to welcome you to our Doctor of Physical Therapy information session for the month of March. And we are excited because we have our DPT faculty member, and I'm going to allow her to introduce herself. And then we also have a DPT student. But I'll introduce myself first. Is Tammy Trainer, the Assistant Director of Admissions on our Worcester campus. And I work closely with the School of Physical Therapy. Okay, Dr. Kucharski Howard, it's your turn.
Hey, Tammy. Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Jana Kaczorski Howard. I'm the Director of Clinical Education, the Associate Program Director and Professor with the university. I have been with the program. This is going into my 14th year. I've been here since the program has started, and so excited to answer all your questions that you might have today.
All right, thank you. And Jordan.
So I am a second year DPT student. I'm about to go off onto my third year clinicals in a couple of months. Very exciting. I'm originally from Rhode Island. I did my undergrad and in undergrad in Rhode Island. I went to Johnson and Wales, and then I came to MCP for PT school. I've been in Worcester for about a year and a half. I have lived both on and off campus. So any questions about either and maybe like pros and cons of both, I'm your girl to go to.
All right, excellent. Well, we're going to definitely get started because of the time. And again, we do apologize for being late. So we're going to get started here. So I again want to welcome you to our Doctor of Physical Therapy information session. I want to start out by giving you some facts about our institution. Did you know that we have 100 programs spanning the healthcare space as a comprehensive healthcare university, meaning that every single program that you'll find on our campus is healthcare related. 16% employment in healthcare occupations is projected to grow from 2020 to 2030, much faster than the average for all occupations. That is phenomenal. That lets you know that healthcare is definitely a field that is lasting and have job security. We recently celebrated our 200 years of preparing future healthcare leaders since 1823 as the oldest university in Boston and second oldest pharmacy school in the country. So we definitely have longevity for sure. We have over 7,500 students enrolled from all 50 states and 74 countries. So we definitely have a diverse student population and our clinical affiliations with world-leading medical institutions, including Brigham and Women's Hospital, Massachusetts General Hospital, and Boston's Children's Hospital, just to name a few. Trust me, there's plenty more, and we're going to talk more about that later in the presentation. So why MCPHS? What makes us different and sets us apart from other universities? Well, first of all, we are number one in the nation for university for earning power. So MCPHS reached the top of the Wall Street Journal Times Higher Education College Rankings list, surpassing the University of Colorado in Denver, Georgetown University, and even Harvard. Wow. MCPHS graduates are trained for high paying careers in high demand fields. We're also ranked number 3. A study by Georgetown University has ranked MCPHS as the third best institution in the United States for the economic value it provides for its students. So that is your return on investment. Very important. We're ranked number 4 as most transformative by Money Magazine, among 700 plus United States universities based on metrics such as graduation rates and earnings. And last but not least, we're ranked number 5 by Money Talk News that ranks MCPHS for having the nation's highest paid graduates. So those are just some bragging rights about our university that I wanted to share with everyone. So let's talk a little bit about Worcester. Worcester is where the DPT program is housed. And when you think about Worcester, you want to think about a city that is large enough to have 11 colleges, but not to the point where it's like Boston. So it's kind of like, I don't know, some people call it like a little best kept secret, you know, because you have the city, but then yet and still it's small enough to where it has a community feel. Before we get into the Worcester video, I want to ask Jordan, who's our student representative, a little bit about your experience in Worcester. Tell us a little bit about where you're from and how that works with your life living in Worcester.
So, like I said, I'm from Rhode Island, and I compare Worcester a lot to Providence in terms of like size, the fact that there's a ton to do. Very foodie. In Worcester alone, there's like 450 restaurants, which is crazy. And there's
Mm,
tons of stuff to do, so I never feel like I'm running out of things to do. Especially over the summer, we have the Woo Sox, which are the Worcester Red Sox, are the triple A affiliate of the Boston Red Sox. And you can go to games, they're really cheap. It's like $7
wow.
for, like the no assigned seating part. And then you can also possibly work there over the summers. Like my roommate worked there over the summer at a little ice cream stand, which I benefited greatly from. There's also tons of hills and like hiking spots like Mount Wachusett's pretty close. There's also Purgatory, which is like this big rock climbing area, and it's just so fun. I love being here.
Great, great. Yeah. And you know, it's interesting because I had a potential student ask me, how do you pronounce the city? You know, most people see the word and they may not really know how we pronounce it here in Massachusetts. So it is pronounced Worcester.
I
You
got
might hear
names
it
for it.
Worcester, you know, it's kind of depending on where you're from. But I hope that my video plays. Wish me luck here.
Worcester is kind of a college town. MCPHS here is blowing up. You got other colleges, WPI, Kent State, Clark, all around you. So it's starting to feel like a budding college town.
Close proximity to Wachusett Mountains, so that's great for snowboarding, or it also has a brewery, which is really nice for the above 21 crowd. There's a lot of things to do. Worcester's in a good location, so if we wanted to go to Boston, you could go to Boston for the day. If you wanted to go see New York City, you could travel and go see New York City for the weekend. In Worcester, there's just a lot of culture, so you experience a lot of different diversities. So in that aspect, I think it's a good town. There's a lot of things that you can do, like you can go to the ecotarium, there's like movie theaters.
There's also a lot to offer. There's a DCU Center where they have the Sharks play a lot. The Worcester Palladium, which is down the street. They got concert venues. So you got a little bit of sports, a little bit of music, pretty much every weekend.
Our growth is here in Worcester. It's a perfect college town. Students have a good experience here. Our secret here in Worcester is accelerated programs. Our students work on the best equipment. They have the best faculty. We have to recruit our faculty from all over the country. So they're serious students. They want to come to school. They've already had their undergraduate experience. So our students can do all their clinical rotations right in the Worcester area. And they know what they want now. And the quicker they get out, the quicker they can go to work.
It's a good area to just focus and study. But if you need to have time to relax, let loose, you have the option of doing that on the weekends and go to Boston, which is really right up the street.
All right, excellent. So with that being said, There are tons of social communities and student groups that are provided on our Worcester campus. Like we said before, there are 11 colleges in the city alone. So it is definitely considered a college city. And we're going to move on. Let's see. All right, why am I having a hard time here? There we go. So let's talk a little bit about housing. So when you think about housing, you know, most people think of the undergrad experience where they fit almost 5 people into a matchbox room. That is not the type of housing that we are talking about here. This is a graduate level program. And so we want to treat you and give you a graduate level experience. So with that, we have options that include studios, suites, and condos that are in close proximity to your classes. There are a lot of amenities, 24-hour access to a fitness center. There's cafes, lots of study spaces, computer labs. All of our units come fully furnished with utilities included, so you will not have a separate heating bill or water bill. Everything is included. Rent is charged once a semester to the student's account, and of course, there's parking available. And the one thing I do want to mention is that our prices are competitive. So what we did was we looked at what the city of Worcester was charging for rent for apartments, and we wanted to make sure that our prices were competitive. And so that is definitely something that we were intentional about. I want to turn back to Jordan because I know that you took advantage of our housing. Could you tell us a little bit about your housing experience?
Of course. So I lived in one of the studios on campus for my first year of school. I honestly, every single time that anybody asks me about whether they should live on or off campus, especially that first year or first semester, I always push for living on campus just because there's such a community aspect around it. So like if there's like a study group or people are going out on a weekend to like get to know each other, just hang out, you're able to take advantage of those opportunities. Whereas like if you live 30 minutes away, you might not be able to be a part of the community like that.
Right.
Plus it's just very convenient, especially coming from another state. Everything's fully furnished and I didn't have to worry about where like my furniture was either coming or going to and from. Obviously I do live off campus now, so I realized that that wasn't as big of a problem for me, but I also only live an hour away. But for people who do live further away, living on campus is definitely the best option in my opinion, because it's all taken care of for you. So I
Yeah.
always really recommend living on campus, at least your
Good. Yeah, and I really find that it being fully furnished, that's kind of like what excites me because can't imagine myself carrying a table and a sofa into an apartment, you know, on my back. So
I
that
have
is
people do that for me.
exactly. So that is definitely a huge plus. All right, so we are an interprofessional community. What does that mean? It means that we have doctoral, master, and bachelor programs that can be interchangeable between our Worcester and Manchester campus. So as you can see on the slide, some of the programs have a W/M. And what that means is that there may be some lectures that you would listen to from a professor in Manchester, but you're still able to ask questions. You're still able to interact with the professor as if the professor was literally in the same room. So back to you, Jordan. Tell me a little bit about the Doctor of Physical Therapy program. It just says W. So are there any lectures from anyone in Manchester or is it just strictly in Worcester?
Nope. So our program is just strictly in Worcester. We do not film, but like record all of our lectures and they are posted online. But
Okay.
I know PA, they do have lectures that go between Worcester and Manchester. So that's what they call like distance learning. So there's like TVs where you can see the professor, they can see you. The sound system picks up literally everything. So you can even hear like a pin drop from either end. So
Wow.
I haven't heard of anybody having any qualms with asking questions or anything like that.
Yeah. But and what I like most about it is that you get to interact with people from another campus. You know, we want to make sure that all of our campuses are connected and that we're communicating with each other. So now this brings us to our interprofessional education, otherwise known as IPE, which is a collaborative program that brings together students and faculty from different disciplines, schools, and campuses to teach and learn from one another. And this is where we're going to ask Dr. Kucharski Howard to talk a little bit more about what IPE is and what it looks like, especially for a DPT student.
Sure, thanks, Tammy. We have an incredibly strong interprofessional education program throughout our campuses. Some events can be really large, 700 to 800 students across 3 campuses. Sometimes they're a lot smaller. Sometimes they're 40 DPT students and 10 to 12 pharmacy students. So it really just depends on the activity. Our students probably participate in about 12 interprofessional education activities throughout their 3 years while they're on campus. And it's really meant to learn about and from the other disciplines so that we're working collaboratively when we get out into practice. You know, we'll be working alongside many of these other professions, and to have a better understanding is a much better way to have respect and work collaboratively for the goals of the patient. So it's important to us, and it's really a hallmark of our program.
Absolutely. Now, really, this is where Dr. Kucharski Howard is going to kind of take over a little bit, because we're getting into the curriculum, which is the high impact learning in the DPT program. So I'm going to have her to just explain to us what that is and a little bit about its design.
Great, thanks, Yumi. So we really consider our program to be high impact learning. And so there's several things here on the diagram that you'll see that are really important to that. We think our curriculum is contemporary and relevant. It's really problem-based. We have a very strong experiential learning component throughout the first 2 years of our program prior to going out on full-time clinical education. So our students really learn by doing. There's a very strong social component, even though our class size is small, which we like. The students get to know the students above them, the cohort above them really well as the cohort below them, because they're always interacting in lots of different ways, both professionally and through clubs and social events. So we've got a contemporary curriculum where there's lots of student support, which is going to be coming up that I'll talk about. We have immediate experiential experiences. Our students arrive the first week of September, and they're out on clinicals the 4th week of September. We have a lot of interprofessional collaboration, which we just talked about its importance. Our students are really focused on community service. The university itself is really strong into community service, and so we're out in the community quite a bit. And then we have a strong focus on research and research integration, so that you're learning about the really current information to be applying to your patients. Next slide, Tammy. Thank you. Our program is 3 years, and it's 8 semesters in sequence: fall, spring, summer year 1, fall, spring, summer year 2, and fall and spring the following year. In the first year, a general overview is that those courses are primarily foundational courses. This is where you learn about your anatomy, kinesiology, motor control, gait, evidence-based practice. In the second year, we apply those to patient management courses. So we have a little bit for everybody, depending on what you're really passionate about. So there's an orthopedic or musculoskeletal series, and neuromuscular series. There's a pediatrics course and a geriatrics course, and then therapeutic exercises woven through the curriculum as well. And the final year is all full-time clinical education experiences. Here's an example of our schedule. This is busy. So this is an example of our schedule. This is This semester right now, the yellow is what the first years are doing, and the pink is what the second years are doing. And so you can see a basic day runs from 8 a.m. to sometimes 3:30 or 5:30, depending on which lab assessments that you're in. And we hold 2 days, 2 mornings a week, Wednesday morning and Friday morning. You can see that those are unopposed by classes. And that's when students are out in the clinic, either learning from each other or learning from clinical instructors or on campus in our pro bono centers. So that's a good way to look at it. You can see that all the lunchtime activities are open. There's clubs that happen on campuses Tuesdays and Thursdays. And so those times are held open for students. And so that's a basic example of our schedule. It's busy, but if you look at the color coding, it really does give a good explanation to what we're doing.
Yeah, and it's good to at least see what a typical day would look like for a DPT student here at MCPHS. Absolutely.
We know that DPT school is rigorous. Our program does not make it any more or less rigorous. We have standards that we need to meet in order to be an accredited program. But because we know that, one thing that is different about our program and our universities, we've got a lot of support for student success. We have programmatic support. So each student that comes in each cohort is assigned to a faculty coach that you meet with on a regular basis. There are professional tutors, which are usually our adjunct faculty who are there in the nights and weekends and afternoons to help. We have peer tutors. So we have DPT2s that tutor DPT1 students. And we have adjunct faculty who are experts in their areas, and so they know our program well, and they know the content really well, and we have a lot of supportive processes in place for remediation and just supporting student success and learning. Then there's several opportunities for university support, including CASE, which is the Center for Academic Success and Enrichment, and the Office of Student Access and Accommodations. In addition, we have an incredibly strong counseling and mental health support for students that may need to take advantage of those resources.
That is amazing. I'm very happy to know that we do provide that support because, like you said, DPT school is rigorous. And if you feel like you need help or support, at least the resources are there. So that's great.
Great.
All right.
Great. And then this brings us to our outcomes. So we've talked a lot about what happens in the program when students are there, but lots of times you want to know what happens after I graduate. And so we do have, there is a requirement for a national physical therapy examination to become licensed in the United States. And so you'll take that following graduation. But we don't believe that we should just kind of graduate you and let you go. So we have lots of opportunities to support you with this. So there's practice exams and item analysis. When you get questions right, learning why you got them right. When you get questions wrong, learning why you got them wrong. We have a 15-week content review in the final semester, which is really important for just kind of clearing away those cobwebs and really bringing all that information to the front of your brain to get ready to access for the MPTE exam. We have 3 to 4 full-length practice exams with item analysis. So again, you'll take a mock exam and then go through the questions that you got right and the questions that you got wrong to really analyze why that was. So you better understand the content and the question, how the question's asked in order to best prepare for the board exam. And there's support before and after graduation. There's all kinds of things that are available, lots of resources, study books, study apps, podcasts. We offer a review course as well on campus that's free for all of our students. And so the university is incredibly supportive of student success in this area. As far as career preparation, I think, Tammy, you talked about this a little bit earlier, that there are plenty of jobs out there right now. It's an incredibly fast and growing field, and you can just about have any job that you want when you graduate. However, there are other options as well as far as moving right into employment. You could do a residency and fellowship afterwards, and we have a panel that's set up for that to talk about those opportunities and questions. We have a career fair where we have lots of employers come and talk to students right away. Right now, we're doing that virtually, and I think it's working out well virtually. So I think we're going to continue that. And also lots of university counseling and resources through our Career Development Center.
All right, and I'm going to put Jordan on the spot here really quickly before we go to the next slide. Like when you're thinking about the NPTE, where are you at with that? Like, are you getting nervous? Do you feel like you're on the right track?
Obviously, I'm nervous about it. It's a big exam. It's like a 4-hour, 5-hour exam. It's a lot of questions to take at once. But I do feel like we do a pretty good job at kind of preparing us for it. So like, obviously, I don't feel like I don't know nothing because all of our classes are working up to it. All of our exams that we take in class are modeled after NPTE style questions. So the way that the questions are asked, and the types of answers that are given, and professors will also like go in class will be like, okay, this is kind of what I'm expecting for this. Like this exam is going to be case-based and there's going to be a lot of all these answers are technically correct, but like look for the best one because that's what the MPTE is. So I definitely feel like they're preparing us well for it.
Excellent, excellent. All right.
Great. One of the other hallmarks of our program is our integrated clinical education. We've really not seen another program that has this as strong as we do across the country. So integrated clinical education, we call it our ICE, happens in the fall and spring year 1 and fall, spring, summer year 2. There's 2 portions of that. There's an observation piece where our students observe experts in clinical practice, and this always parallels what's happening in the curriculum. So if you're learning about acute care, you go to acute care settings. If you're learning about pediatrics, you're going to pediatric settings, and whatever you're learning about, you're seeing in person, real life patients, and going to all kinds of settings. We'll talk about those in a minute. And then we have our application piece to integrated clinical education. And one of those placements is our Balance Movement and Wellness Center. If you've checked out our website, you might have seen our video on the Balance Movement and Wellness Center. And so there's lots of opportunities, but our students go to, Jordan, probably 5 for you this semester for application sites. I think about
Somewhere around there.
5, right? 5, and then maybe 2 observations. So you're doing lots of applications. So we feel like our students are incredibly well prepared clinically. You can see our top picture there. The middle row is a group of our participants, and the top and bottom rows are our DPT-1 and DPT-2 students. And the bottom picture is a DPT-1 and a DPT-2 student working with a BMW participant on some balance activities, but we work together in groups of 2 and pairs of 2 to deliver care.
That's amazing. Yeah.
It really is. It really is. So here are some of our clinical partners that are listed here: St. Vincent, Bay State, Flaherty, Elliott, Northeast Rehab, UMass Memorial Healthcare, Beth Israel Deaconess Hospital, and Life Care Centers of America. Our students, when they're doing their observations, they go to acute care hospitals, rehabs, they do early intervention, school settings, private practices, home care, and memory care units. So we're really proud of our observation piece of our ICE model. And then, next slide. And then we have our application. So one of the sites that we go to is our Balance Movement and Wellness Center, which is our pro bono center on campus. And this is where DPT-2 students mentor DPT-1 students, and they perform patient evals and carry out treatments. And we've got a group, always a wonderful group of folks that come and not only receive treatment, but also teach our students a lot about becoming a physical therapist. So they're designing and implementing plans of care. And here's just one example of a DPT-2 student that's helping, again, some balance activities for this individual. This is coming up next week. We're very excited about our last day. So on our last day of integrated clinical education, we form a tunnel of love. We call it our tunnel of love when our participants are leaving us for the semester. And Tammy, do you think you can play the video? It's like my favorite.
I know. Let's see. It should play here. Give me a second. Wow,
And
that was
such a good
amazing.
job. This is my favorite. I don't think she's
Yeah.
got too many balances.
Wow.
That's because our students have worked so hard with her, I think.
I know. I just love the sense of community, though. I mean,
I do too.
that's amazing. Yeah, it really touches my heart.
You
Oh,
can see that the participants are really happy and the students are really happy, and we're just kind of really excited about what we've accomplished over the semester. One other experience is our simulation lab. And so you can see here that students are working in a simulation lab that's on the other side of campus. And here they're learning about the acute care setting where there's lines. You can see if you look carefully, there's lines and tubes and things attached to them. And they're practicing in real hospital beds where they're getting up. And this simulates the acute care experience. So in a regular hospital where lots of them are going on some of their clinicals. So we do this in the last semester. You know, there's a bunch of different pictures, but they all look happy, I think. So great. We talked a lot about interprofessional education, but these are frequent collaborative learning events that happen throughout the first couple of years of the program. And students are involved in multidisciplinary discussions and activities, depending on what the opportunity is. Our students participate in community screens and fall awareness, prevention, dementia sensitivity. The top picture is a picture of our book club, which just happened. And the students all read a book and then get together and are divided up by disciplines and then talk about it in regards to how their discipline might approach this patient-based case. And in the bottom picture, our students are going through some dementia sensitivity training. And so they're changing their vision by wearing those sunglasses, which have Vaseline on them, which makes your sense of vision really warped. They also have gloves that they're not able to feel, as many of our folks with dementia may not have the ability to have great sensation in their hands. And then they're put through activities, whether that's to sign their name or to put pills in pill boxes or to write out a check. And so there's lots of activities. And these pictures, there are DPT students in each of these tables, and then a variety of others. That would be one of our larger events as well.
yeah, I love the collaboration piece. I think that is so important.
I agree. We talked about this. Our university is very strong into community service, and sometimes that's large and sometimes that's small, depending. Sometimes it's university-wide or program-specific. Our program serves the Worcester community, and it's a core value of the university and the School of Physical Therapy. And our students are ambassadors of not only the school, but also the physical therapy profession. There's some activities here that are happening. So this is all at a local senior center where they're doing balance analysis in the first picture. They're teaching the participants some Tai Chi activities in the middle picture, and then they're collaborating afterwards on just documentation and learning from each other. So this is just one of the many ways that we contribute to providing service to our community. And there are other things that our students work with as far as providing service to the community that are not patient-based, and these are a lot of fun. In the top left-hand picture, you can see this is a group of our students that are at a camp, a summer camp for children with limb loss. It's called Camp No Limits. And this is where children with limb loss can go for the summer and have adaptable activities for anything that they may not be able to participate in at home. So it really normalizes some of the challenges that they have in their everyday life when they come to this camp. So our students are incredibly lucky to take advantage of that. On the top right is a fundraiser for multiple sclerosis, and it was the jet pull. So this is a line of our students that are all literally pulling a jet with a tug of war rope, and they are raising money, and they made quite a bit of money and an impact. They had a great time doing it. And then the bottom picture is a group of our students that were participating in handing out water at one of the recent Boston marathons. And so those are some of our third-year students that are there right now.
All right. You think we're going to be participating in this year's Boston Marathon?
I don't know. Jordan, do you know about that?
I haven't heard anything about it. We have like a ton of other things coming up though, so I don't know if that's at the top of our list.
Okay.
There's a
Ton of
lot.
other
I think it
things
just
that's
depends
coming
on
up.
what the classes kind of have a passion for and who they have contacts for. But I know the students are doing amazing things all the time.
Mhm. Excellent.
And then the last piece of our high impact learning is our research integration. So the students are involved in the evidence-based practice series throughout the didactic curriculum. And this leads to a project at the end. And you can see here, we've got a group of students that are presenting their information at the University Scholarship Day. Our students in the middle picture, our students were at the APTA conference in San Diego last year and presenting their posters along with some faculty. And then on the right-hand side is one of my research groups that we were doing data collection for the UMass Amherst baseball pitchers. And we were trying to look at if range of motion and manual muscle testing were indicative of future injuries. And so it was really interesting. So we went and we tested all 20 of the baseball pitchers one day at UMass. So it was really a lot of fun. But our students are involved in university and regional and national conferences they can present. So it's exciting.
Exciting. Oh.
So
All right.
in summary, we have a really high retention rate because we're really dedicated to student success and whatever that may be, whether that's academic or mental health. We have a high MPT pass rate and very high employment rates. Students are, have a multiple of job offers when they leave. Students can go into clinical residencies or fellowships. Many of our students go on to be independent business owners, and we're really proud of that. They're such hard workers that they're ready to take that on. And they do that within a few years of graduating from the program. Our students become leaders in the national physical therapy community. And the thing that is really near and dear to my heart is that our graduates become clinical educators and adjunct faculty. So we have something that's called Cardinals Teaching Cardinals, and we always highlight when one of our students is on clinical and their clinical instructor is a graduate of our program. We highlight that on our social media. We're really proud of them to see it come full circle.
All right. That is excellent. All right. And just to kind of share some information, I know that Dr. Kucharski-Howard mentioned social media. So this is a podcast that Dr. Cheryl Babin participated in, talking about life in motion. And she really gave some really good information about physical therapy. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but the first physical therapist in the United States treated polio in soldiers returning from World War I. I had no idea. That's an amazing fact. Physical therapy concerns any way the body moves, including breathing. A lot of us don't really think about breathing as part of physical therapy. And successful physical therapy often depends on the patient. So if you're interested, there is if you go to our website and you just Google, in the search engine, just put in a bicentennial podcast, you'll be able to listen to this and get some really good information there. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the application for admission. So when you are applying for a DPT school here at MCPHS, you must submit your application through PTCAS. So PTCAS takes all of your documentation, your official transcripts, letters of recommendation, everything is done through PTCAS. So you won't send any documents to MCPHS. You must have a bachelor's degree, either earned or expected when you apply. A minimum GPA overall of 3.0 on a 4.0 scale. We do ask for PT shadowing experience with at least 10 hours minimum. And that's just so that way when you come in, you have a good sense of a PT environment. We ask completion of prerequisite courses by August 1st, prior to the start of the program. So when you apply, if you have missing prerequisites, that is something that, we definitely can talk to you about, and we can still accept you on the condition that those prerequisites are completed by August 1st. When you are completing prerequisites, it is important that your prerequisites are completed at a regionally accredited institution and that you earn at least a C or higher. We cannot accept a C minus. So I just wanted to make that perfectly clear. We do require 2 letters of recommendation. However, 3 is preferred. We would like to see at least a letter of recommendation from a licensed doctor, physical therapy doctor. And if you are an international student, you must have a WES evaluation, which you would also submit to PTCAS. And then after that, once we get your application from PTCAS and it is reviewed and we feel that you might be a good fit for us, we will invite you for an interview, a virtual interview. And that's really just an opportunity for you to have a one-on-one dialogue with a faculty member and learn a little bit more about us in an intimate environment virtually. So we really look forward to that. So admissions, we are enrolling admissions, which means that it's always best to apply early. We are still accepting applications for fall 2024. They've been open for quite some time. And if you want a competitive application, definitely focus on your cumulative GPA. Keep in mind that PTCAS, when they generate your GPA, they include all of your classes, whether they are retakes or not. So please keep that in mind when you are working on your coursework. Retakes are included in the GPA. We also look at your prerequisite GPA. So you want to make sure that you are working really hard on those prereqs. We want to hear about your interest, your experiences, what motivates you, and all of that is really done in the interview process. We want to hear about how passionate you are about physical therapy. And then we also invite you to do a campus visit. We would like for you to see our Balance Movement Wellness Center. We want you to come in and take a look at the equipment that's used and kind of take a look at our housing and all of the amenities and facilities that we offer on our Worcester campus. When it comes to financial aid, all domestic students with valid FAFSA on file will be considered for federal aid. We do offer merit scholarships up to $7,000 per year. And if you are accepted, it is important to schedule an affordability appointment. Lynn Berry is this representative that works in student financial services. So what you would do is schedule a one-on-one appointment with him, and he would talk about tuition, merit scholarships. He'll talk about housing, deposits, and all of anything financial. So that is a very important appointment that you would want to have with Lynn. And that pretty much concludes our information session. What I want to do now, though, is open the floor for questions, because I know we just kind of went through everything and didn't really give an opportunity for questions. So if you do have a question, can you please put it in the Q&A section at the bottom of your screen, and we would love to answer it for you. Or you can also put your question in the chat box. Either one is fine. But are there any questions out there at this point? Wow, we must have done a really great job then, ladies. Well, I want to welcome you to our community soon. Again, my name is Tammy Trainer. I am the point of contact for the physical therapy program. So if you are interested in learning more, if you would like to schedule a counselor appointment, my information is on the screen. please feel free to write it down, or even if you go to our website and you search my name, this information will come up. So I am always available and always happy to assist you in any way that I can. I know that we have an Instagram page. So please, I invite you to visit our Instagram page and take a look at what current students are up to in social media. And yeah, there's the name there, and then the link down here at the bottom. Well, if there aren't any questions, then I'm going to say thank you for coming. I hope that you were able to learn more about who we are and our physical therapy program. And I look forward to hopefully talking with you soon. I want to thank Jordan and Dr. Kucharski Howard for joining us this evening. And again, we do apologize for the technical difficulties. Hopefully that was not an inconvenience on your time. Have a good evening. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thanks, Tammy and Jordan.
Thank you. Thank you all so much. I appreciate each of you.
No problem.
All right.
Good.
Bye,
All right.
guys.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.